Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're still working on the Mini, got to get this thing ready for its MOT. One thing, as Mo pointed out last week, this front side light and indicator, the DRL, the side light effectively has, there's a wire that's come loose and broken off, so that doesn't run. Obviously we've got to fix that. This is sealed, so we're going to get a heat gun, heat this up, see if we can pull this apart, repair that. We've got the plastic clips for the trim in the back. Now they've painted it, we'll get that back on. We'll make sure everything's in place first before we do that properly. And we also got some spacers from the R53 Owners Club, so nice quality looking components there. We also got new studs, so we're going to swap those out. That'd be a nice easy one, so we might have a look at that first. What else do we have to do? The other thing we need to check, I did mention at the end of the last one I was going to talk about, was the wheel sensors. So we're going to hop in and check the codes and see if we can work out if it's the front or the rear sensors that are wrong, and obviously we'll try, I believe it's the rears, just my guess because I've got R56 sensors in there. We'll get the R53 sensors out, pop them in, see if that resolves the issue, and then hopefully we'll be able to get this apart, fix it, put it back together. I've taken the bulbs out already, the indicator bulb out, so we can hopefully fire into that. It's got to go find the heat gun and we can do that. So we'll start, I think, with the spacer on the wheel. Nice and easy, we're already here, and then we'll check, then we'll go and check the codes, then we'll have a look and see if we, what we might do. Nice and easy one. We'll try and put the rears back on, and yeah, we'll see what happens next. Cool, let's get into it. Right, let's see if we can find the issue. Okay. Cool, that's in there. Again. Turn the key on. Hopefully, should have some, yep, we've got some lights on the device. Let's have a look. Bluetooth connected. Connect to the device. Try full on. Oh, there we go. Maybe it just wasn't on enough. So let's see if we've got wheel sensor issues. Throttle pedal position sensor, circuit low. Throttle pedal position switch, circuit high. Interesting. That's interesting. It doesn't talk about wheel sensor issue, does it? Maybe we need to move it. That's fine, let's leave that for the moment. So I can't see where the issue is there. So I think what we'll have to do is just try and drive it somewhere. But first of all, what do we need to do? There's a few other things we need to do. I'm going to check a couple of bolts. There's also these rear mud flaps that I haven't put back on yet, so we'll have a look. I've got a couple of pairs of those now, so we'll find the good set and see if we can work out how we put those back on. Right guys, that was not too bad actually. That's popped off quite easily. That was just 10 minutes on about 80 degrees in the oven. That's popped off. And as we can see, someone's just run some LED lighting around the outside here. Hopefully it's not too bad. We're going to have to pull that off. I may have to replace it. We'll see how easy it is to get the cable back on there, but we'll have to see if I actually even get that off, see if it'll still work. So we'll keep working at trying to get this off. Okay, so yesterday we got the lens cover off. I think I've mentioned what we did, where I certainly saw it. I think so. It looks like someone's definitely been in here before. So I don't think this was definitely original. I've done a quick test and either this doesn't work or I broke it. But it's yeah, it doesn't look the best. So what I'm going to do is, I think, and I can see you see just here, it's quite cracked. So there could be all sorts of issues with it. And I didn't bring any bits here for me to test it properly with. So what I've done is I've ordered some new LED rings that should fit in here. And we'll see if we can fit some LED rings in there. Now, because I've done that, what it means is I'll have to take the other one out so I can match it. I did consider different colors, but then I thought, no, so I don't get into trouble with any, the law or anything like that, I've just gone for white for the moment. I was going to go like something like an ice blue or a light blue, because, but yeah, anyway. So, like I said, someone's been in here before, because I'm pretty sure this just would have had a normal light in here, and this does have LEDs as the indicator. Interesting to see there's a nice little hole up here. I'm assuming that's to allow heat out for when it had the normal lens in it, but it certainly has collected a lot of dirt in there over the time because of it. Anyway, we've ordered those. We'll have to wait for those to come. Oh, I'm going to go up, but I'll have to take the other light out, which means the bumper will have to come off. Yay, we love doing things twice. That's right, it had to come off anyway to put this back. The bumper went on just to see how it would fit. Right, we'll go and get ready and head up to the barn for a few hours. Okay, so as you saw, we had the strip that was in here, the wire had come off. What I've done is I've been had a look around and found these nice looking lights. Unfortunately the seller only had one available, but well, it got more coming in, but so I'm just waiting for the other one. But for the moment it's about getting this one fixed because the other one's working. I did look at getting a different color, but I just thought, didn't want to cause any issues anywhere, so we've gone for this. Now, as you can tell probably just there, this cover does come off, so we will when I install it, I'll probably install it like this, because obviously there's the there is the standard diffuser that sits over the top of that, so there's no point in having two. But we'll put that on there just for the moment, because I don't know how bright this is going to be. But let's see if we can do this one-handed while holding a camera. If we can jam that wire in there. Right. Now for you it'll be a little bit different on camera, but I'm going to just look away for a sec. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty bright. Okay, good. Works, we know that part. Good stuff. So now the next question is, how are we going to stick it inside here? So I think what we'll do is, we've got a nice point down here that we can rest one side on, so it's just a matter of keeping it level on the other side. This little I'm assuming some form of ballast inside here, some resistors, so we'll put those inside here as well. Then these wires can pop out through there because they've got to go into this plug. So this will seal this all up. Although I do note there's a hole in the top of this up here, so don't know whether we should seal that or whether we should leave it open just for any heat to escape out of here. But I think for the moment we'll leave it open. But so, because the other thing is, if I wanted the ballast outside, I'm going to have to sort of chop these wires or on solder them from the back of this, and then pop them back on again and run them through. So a little bit undecided. We'll have a look. We'll have a bit of a fiddle, bit of a play, and see what is going to be best. Please, again, either way, drop your comments below as to what you think. I have no idea how hot this thing will get. Hopefully, because it's encased in plastic, it's not going to get too hot. But we'll see. These are not massively expensive, but to be honest, any of these things, when they stop working, it's the pain, it's the annoyance factor of having to take everything apart again. So, right, we'll put you on time lapse, and we'll have a fiddle, try and put this back to put this in here. We'll find some way of holding it in place. Probably use some silicone or something. I'll drop some silicone on that, and then something in here just to hold this thing in place. But let's have a look. Right, before we carry on with the lighting and wire it up, obviously LEDs are, you have a positive and negative. They're sensitive to that, so you need to make sure you're going to put this in around the right way. Now, I'm 99% sure you've got a brown and a black wire here. Now, typically in most situations black would be earth, but as we've probably seen around here, around this car, in fact I'll probably just quickly show you. As you can see just here, a lot of browns all going into an earth, and there's the same in the back of the car, so there's a lot of browns that go onto the earth. So I'm going to pick that that's actually negative, but what we're going to do is quickly test it. So we're going to plug that in, and let's just go into the voltage. We'll turn the lights on in the car. Obviously you can't see anything there, but side light on. I think these new ones are going to be a little bit brighter, and it's a brown. I'm picking that one should be negative, so let's see if we get a reading. So I've got, as you can see, black's going up to the black one here, going to brown, red to the black, and as you can see there, we've got a positive 12.27 volts. So there's no negative signs there, which means we have them around the right way. Right, so what it means is when we're going to connect up that LED, we've got to put the positive or the pink wire into this that socket there, which will be, for reference, if we pull this off, so where the clip is, it's going to be on the right hand side. So no clip, left hand side, right clip on the right hand side of that. Okay, so let's go back over and see what we can do to wire that in. Normally there would be just something else we could put in here, but there's another little white clip, but I don't have that. I think the guy I got this off probably gave it to me, but I don't know, I put it somewhere safe, and yeah, no idea where that safe space is. So we'll jury rig something up, we'll find some way of getting it in there so it's secure. Okay, the other thing, just quickly before we go back to that, the other thing I want to do is going to swap the bonnet out. So I've got to pull the electronics out, pull the wiper hose out of there as well. I was going to try and pull out all of the what do I call it? The intake for the air intake for the intercooler, but having asked about how easy it is to take them apart, I think what I may do for the moment, I mean, this has got one. It's a bit loose because it's got some broken bits in it. But just for the moment, again, this is about getting us ready for MOT. I can fix that. Once I take this off, I could probably work on the bonnet a little bit easier and get that off, and then we'll work on the same thing. I think that one's just pretty loose. I have put my older lights in here just for the moment. Again, this is about getting the MOT. What I do want to also do is I want to take this car for a drive to try and understand if we've got an issue with the sensors or not. The wheel sensors, and if they are, what they are, because at the moment there's nothing showing on the codes, so I probably need to move the car and drive it around a bit, and we'll see what other issues we might have. So go for a bit of a shakedown in just a moment. So we'll just get on, we'll finish all those bits off, and yeah, we'll take for a quick drive. Let's try again. Okay, so what I've done is the little ballast is sitting in here. We've siliconed it in place, and we've siliconed the LED over the top of it. Put a little post over this side purely because of just the angles of what's in behind. Siliconed, so this LED ring is siliconed in place. The wires, we'll see if we can poke them slightly out the way, but I'm not overly concerned about that. People, you know, if they have a close look, they'll probably see them, but again, not completely concerned about that. So we're going to fill the wires a little bit, see if I can't get them. I should have actually put them underneath that post, but never mind. We're now going to stick the lens back on over there. We'll do that, and then we'll go and put this back in the car. And so we've already tested it like this, and we know it works. That's all nice and sealed. We'll put the other light back in. Yeah, so we'll seal that, put it back in the car, and see what it's like. So of course what will happen now is the other one, it is still, while it does work, obviously it's not one of these, so it's going to be a different light. So another one of these is coming, so next weekend we'll be able to pull the other one apart and fix that one up. But for now, again, we can put this in, and it will be we can sort of try and book it in for an MOT. Right, okay, so we took it for a quick drive, if you've seen, and we had the warning light, brake warning light, and obviously the air pressure. So ABS was already on, and that warning light was already on. So let's have a look. Let's connect ourselves up and see what it says. Engine is off. Continue. Yeah, we're not going to touch anything in here. We just want to have a look. Throttle pedal position, throttle pedal position. No other trouble codes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the rear wheel sensors, because that's known to be an issue. I've got the R56 ones in at the moment. So I'm going to change those out, and then we'll take it for another spin and see if that goes away. Right guys, this is another long video, so we're going to cut it short here. Now, yeah, sorry, bit of a teaser. Did we find out the problem with the wheel sensors? We'll talk about that in just a moment, but for now, I just wanted to say a couple of things. So, jack stands, always an interesting question, right? For me, safety is paramount, and it's been called out before. I've mentioned it before. I think I was called out once when I didn't use one. Now, when I didn't have the aero side skirts on, it was quite easy to, you could use, I've got a low level jack and a standard jack. I could use the standard jack with a piece of wood to support the car without a side skirt on, and even with the old side skirts you could still do it if you're very, very careful. But with the aero skirts, because they sit lower down away from the metal, you just can't get in there and do anything. So you need these low level jacks. So I was jacking up the car. The car's been lowered, as you know, and as you would have seen at the beginning of this video, I showed you actually where I was lowering it. The problem now is, of course, you jack the car up enough to get the wheel off the ground, and a jack doesn't fit. So I probably need, jack stands don't fit. So I probably need to try and find something. I was using blocks of wood at times during this video. I was also very, very careful not to stick my head underneath the arch of the wheel. Although I think, looking back, I think I did do that once, which again, my bad. I shouldn't be doing that without putting something under the car. I don't know if there's any kind of smaller half-size jack stands that you can get, but it's something I'm going to be looking into, and we'll post in another video. But if you guys have seen anything, or you know of anything that you'd be using on a lowered car to keep it up in the air while you're working on it, be love to see what you've got, because the other option I've got is to get a second low level jack, so I can actually lift up both sides at the same time and then get something under the car properly, because at the moment just jacking up one side, because it's lowered and a lot stiffer, it just starts creating havoc all over the place. But anyway, enough about that. I shouldn't have been working under the car without jack stands, so my bad. Again, got to keep an eye on that. Now, what happened with the sensors? So this is one that's been talked around a little bit, and obviously when you change to the R56 or the aluminium rear trailing arms, because obviously used in the R53 GP1, there's a much bigger hole for the sensor to sit in, which is really, really good, because there's less chance for getting stuck. But of course the R53 sensors don't have the little plastic capping at the end to hold it in place. I've had some people, now I always read that the R53 sensors are the only ones that work. You had to use them, and you should use R53 hubs to go along with it, wheel bearings. Now, but then there was someone that reckoned that they had used their R56 ones. I've also read that and had it mentioned that the R56 sensors do not work with the R53 ECU. So I thought I'd put this to the test. My view was always to use the R53 ones sensors, but I thought I'd put it to the test anyway. So we put the R56 sensors in the rear. When it went for its alignment, my mechanics told me that there was a sensor issue. They thought it was in the front. They couldn't clear it. Maybe there was not enough information, but he thought because there's a spacer in between the drive shaft now, because of all the lowering and everything else changing of the geometry of the suspension, he thought maybe there was an issue there, and the sensor wasn't quite close enough, or maybe I'd put in the bearings around the wrong. Maybe they were left-hand, right-hand sided. But I kind of figured, yeah. And as you've seen through this video, we've changed them out. I took it for a drive. Again, unfortunately, I had some issues with content. I accidentally deleted a whole bunch of stuff. But the good news is, and I can categorically state now, is that the R56 sensors do not work. My car, as you've probably seen and know, is a 2005. There's this argument about facelift model. There's not a lot on my car that states that it was a facelift. It's got 2-spoke steering wheel. It's got the old style headlights. It's got the facelift engine mount in it. So, I'm pretty sure it probably was. But this is how it was. I've had this car since it was done about 35,000 miles. So I'm the second owner of the car. And the previous owner, I'm pretty sure, didn't do anything to the car. So there you go. It is what it is. So if you are doing this, you have to use the R53 sensors for it to work. And in this car, from the facelift model. What else can I tell you? All of the interesting little issues I was having in previous videos. I saw the speedo bouncing up and down. When I was driving it with the R56 sensors in the back, the speedo just didn't even work, full stop, or it barely worked. As soon as I changed back to R53, everything started working. The electronics were doing weird things as well with the R56 sensors. So there you go. Things to take note of. Right. As said, we'll end it here. It's been another long one. Thanks for coming along for the ride. We're just about there now. The few little bits and pieces still to go. I've got to make a decision as to, I know this was going for its MOT, but I started to think about the time of the year and other things I need to do. I need to make a decision as to whether I do put this on the road for 2 or 3 months and then take it off again for winter, or what I'm going to do. But hope you've enjoyed this video. Please remember, drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers for now.